thanks for staying with us. We still have Dabola Lawson with us. And, you know, you came in, we were talking about fetish and all that stuff, and it was important for us to hear your perspective. But now moving on to learning more about you, you're ex-beauty queen, and people see you like this, you have quite a bit of experiences in life. Life has really come at you in different ways. And we've heard your stories about how you got married early to a billionaire, you know, Mr. Soni Aku, and how that went down. And then now you sort of evolved. You have a beautiful daughter. There are lots of people that see you and they feel that you have it all. How would you respond to people who just feel that you've seen life and you're in a good place? How could you share a bit of your experience with us?
There's nothing like a perfect life.
Yeah.
Some people have it better than others, but and at different times you will experience life, and I've experienced life in so many ways, in ways that I could not control, and some that I could eventually control. Yeah,
So
good and bad.
Marriage? Can you tell us a bit about? You said 2014. Why do you think you got married that early?
I think I was just in a place in my life where I was ready to settle down. And
So how old were you then?
I was 26. You know, you're just after 25, 26,
Yeah,
everybody's talking about marriage before you get to 30. So I met someone who was very serious about wanting to settle down. And we just hit it off, and that was it.
How was the
Honeymoon.
so these days they will say 26 is very early. But those days, our time, 26, you look like it's almost time. In the village, 18, 19, they are done with the kids, How was the experience being married at that? How long were you married, first of all?
Just under a year.
Oh, how was that experience? Would you like to share it?
Well, it was just a lot going on.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, let me.
I'll call. The reason why the reason why we want to learn from you. Let me tell you why. Because people say it's easier to cry in a limousine than
Exactly.
in a keke marwa. That once you marry somebody who has everything else, you gotta make it work. But why could you possibly live a wealthy experience? How many people enter private jets? How many people have living? We're all like, auntie, stay there, no matter what. That's the perspective we have outside. So because you've been in, out, that's what I'm just trying to learn from you. Maybe it's not all that glitters, or maybe you can just give us some things we could have managed.
I think for me, because I didn't grow up in Nigeria, I schooled in the UK, college, uni, postgrad, and I worked a bit before I moved back. So I have a different perspective on life. And growing up, my parents were able to give us everything. We would go on 2 holidays abroad and whatever. So marrying someone who I would consider wealthy didn't really faze me as much as other people were looking at it from the outside. Because to be honest, there wasn't any kind of life that was provided that I didn't really grow up with. Yeah. So when I wasn't comfortable, or when I thought I wouldn't last long, I left. It was easy for me to make that decision.
I love that you said that, because I know he was also a much older man. So I'm married to a much older person, and I get people always sending me messages asking, like, how does it work? Many people don't believe it should work, and maybe when they hear your story, they'll be like, oh, that's a good example of why we say it does not work. But people hear mine and think, okay, so maybe it's not really about the age. But you make it sound like it was about your mental health.
Yeah.
So would you say differences in your mindset, in the way you see the world? And was there anything in particular you just felt that this is the last straw? This would push me over the edge, I have to leave? Or are you looking back today and thinking, that wasn't such a big deal? I've been able to handle it. What do you think?
Actually, I just knew I wasn't in the right place. We were not compatible at the time. We're actually good friends now.
See?
Yeah. So we talk, we get along with each other better than when we were married. So sometimes you just make decisions based on your now without thinking too far into it. And then you get in there and it's not what it looks like. He wasn't a bad person. He wasn't nasty or anything. I mean, as with older spouses, they're a bit controlling and maybe somewhat overbearing, but nothing crazy. I just wasn't meant to be there.
So there are lots of women watching you right now, and for whatever reason, they want to leave. for different reasons. You left for different reasons. But they're like, how do I pick up the pieces of my life? Yes, I know I'm not compatible with this person anymore. And they just want to understand how you're able to get on your feet, start over, building your new life as a single mother. A lot of people are watching right now. Could you help us on how you're able to find that stability?
I think, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what do you want for yourself in the next 10 years? I make a lot of decisions just, even if you're my best friend, and I start to notice things are going wrong, I just sit down and I think, where's this thing going to head in 10 years' time? And if I don't see any clear or good will to the whole situation, I'm out.
Good.
So if you're staying there and thinking, where do I start from? You're going to be okay. It's never easy for anybody. Your inside is not easy. Your outside is not easy.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You pick the one.
You have to pick your struggle. Yeah. So but I guess because of the environment that we exist in, there isn't that much support for women
Right.
when they're going through this type of situation. So a lot of women are scared. A lot of things are, let's say, schools. You want to take your child to a good school, it has to be a private school, and the tuition fees are not cheap, you know, and you haven't even started anything yet. So where are you really going to is really the question. Then you have family members, you know, they don't. Most times they add to the problem. You have religious leaders. Sometimes they add to the problem. So it's a lot going on. But I would always say, if you think to yourself, can you continue 365 days times 10
Wow.
in this?
That's some perspective.
huge.
Then
I like
you'll be able to make a decision.
yeah, the fact that you touched on the family, because I see a lot of people who would advise their maybe child to stay there. You know, I am your daddy are still staying. Let it not be said that's my child, this happened and all of that. How was the support from your own family?
My parents, they were so happy to have me back.
Aww.
Yeah. Like, my dad didn't even ask any questions. And my mom just, nobody really wanted to stress me about
Right.
it. So I just went home and I was fine.
You're a very solid family support.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
We talk about single mothers often because even yesterday we talked about single mothers because some of them were falling victim to all these
Fraudsters?
unscrupulous men
Romance
trying to take pictures of them during their intimate moments. But as a single mother, what are some of the challenges you face? I mean, you said school fees earlier. We understand that, but I mean, being judged. They see you, you're a beautiful person, and suddenly think, she has been sleeping around there everywhere. You know, because
we hear
your
that.
story. They judge you because of how you look, how you present yourself, and you have a beautiful daughter. How do you handle society when it comes across they're judging every moment, everything you do?
I don't even pay attention.
Thank you.
Because for me, my daughter is the best part of my life.
Oh, I love
So there's no other opinion that matters. And I also am translating the life my parents gave to me to my child. There's nothing my daughter is lacking. She has everything. And her father is very supportive. He's her best friend. I think maybe, like I always say, it's all about the background. So for me, my background is very much enlightened.
Yes.
I always know I have options.
Right.
I have that confidence. And I don't usually pay attention to the negative. Imagine having a child and the person's partner dies, and then you become a single mother.
What would
I mean, what will you do?
Right,
You know?
right.
And
Dabota dropping some gems.
so when you're confronted with life, it is what it is.
How are you friends with? Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say next is you wanted to ask still about her
She's friends
marriage.
with her husband.
Okay,
How you?
I
I mean,
wanted to-
How are you friends?
somebody you've left that Nigeria. What is it? Don't come to my house. I
Don't
want
talk.
Don't you put all the but you
How you
still
still
friends.
friends?
How you guys being so civilized?
We weren't
together?
friends for so many years.
That's the truth.
He just contacted me and apologized for a lot of things. And I've moved past that stage. I'm not invested emotionally in that place. So I was able to forgive.
Right.
And we've been friends since then.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. So
Yeah.
I was just going to go next. So you're also a businesswoman. You know, there's this thing about a glamorous single woman that does not need to do anything. Like she has all her bills taken care of different people. But here you are, you know, starting businesses, sustaining it. And in Nigeria, no less, you know, how have you been able to do that? And what are the challenges?
I think that's the hardest part of my life.
Business.
That business. Business has not been easy, but it has been steady growing.
You gotta push.
It's not easy to convince people to put something on their face that you created and put your name on it without them worrying about, I hope my face will not turn into, I won't turn into a reptile overnight or something. It's not easy to get people to trust you to that capacity. But I would say God has been extremely faithful when it comes to business because I rely heavily. I'm so spiritual. I don't look it. Most people don't even see me that way. But I rely heavily on God's guidance. I'm not perfect. And Nigeria is not easy when you're a woman running business and you want to
Find
grow.
woman running business again.
Oh my goodness, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I'll tell you 100%. It's not fun. Sometimes you have seasons where it looks like, yes, we're picking up. It's going. Sales are happening. People are buying. They're talking about it. And then you just have periods when nothing is really happening. You know, and in all of this, money is tied down.
Yes,
You know, so
yes, so
I mean, I'm just like everybody else when it comes to business. There's no bed of roses there.
Anywhere.
It's a struggle every day. I'm trimming my thorns to make sure that my flower bed looks
We
good.
always love to ask if you're dating. Of
course.
We want to know a fine babe like you.
So ladies, two people.
I know who's there, who's the man.
Yes, I'm dating.
Yes! Tell us.
Yeah.
Somebody we know? Celebrity?
No. I've never actually dated a celebrity before. Yeah. He's a very private person, so he's not one that I'm going to talk about here,
Yeah.
especially with the kind of career that he has and his personality. But I'm very much happy. I'm very
Fantastic.
much in
Tell
love.
about his
Yeah, tell us about
Very
it.
romantic, very
What's the
caring.
last thing he did for Valentine's? What did he do for Valentine's?
He went all out.
Tell us now. We want to learn. Our husbands are listening. That maybe they will learn a few things.
He went all out. That's it.
us an idea.
He made me happy and feel really special.
So
How does he relate with your little girl?
They don't have a relationship yet.
Okay.
Just because we haven't yet discussed anything in terms of marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until we get there,
You're taking it.
So I
Yeah.
love, please, can we stay there a bit? So I love that, you know, we've gotten here. It's always a point of conversation, people wondering how early or how late should you introduce your child to someone you're dating. And as we know with dating, it's not really concrete because today you think is going somewhere and then the person is like, I introduced this person to my child and this one more person leaving her. Why did you decide to wait? I mean, this is a relationship that's making you happy. Why are you waiting to introduce your child to this person? What are you
because
afraid
there's
of?
no rush. Because my daughter's dad is very much involved in her life. So she's not in need of a male figure or a father figure, to be honest. So there's really no rush until I'm sure. And when we're 100% heading to that direction, he would also be very much involved. Our families will be very much involved. So there's really no rush. I mean, they see each other, just but I don't express intimacy or make her feel like, oh, this is my
So
boyfriend.
you don't hang out all three of you?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I like the fact that you're taking it slow. They said there's something that comes with age. When you get to a certain point in life, there's no need taking it slow. Just do what you want to do and move on. But the fact that you're going...
You know, little girls are so emotional. Imagine having, kids create like deep emotional connection in a matter of days.
Yeah.
And then in a few months, that connection is growing. And 6 months or 3 months down the line, the person is no longer there. Somebody else comes in again
Stabilize.
and they start again. It's not very healthy for your child. And I love my daughter so much. I wouldn't put her through that.
So what's Dabota working on? What's the next thing for you? What are you? We know you own a cosmetics company and you're working on that. Are you going into anything else, any kind of business, or what are you working on?
I have other businesses that are not popularly known or I don't put my name to, and all of them are steady growing. But for Dabota Cosmetics, last year we expanded into a house of beauty. So once upon a time, it was just an indigenous brand. But now we're trying to, I'm trying to copy people that I look up to, like the Sephora and all the Debenhams and all the departmental stores. So now we carry other brands.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have a reputation for making sure all our products are original. Most Nigeria departmental stores, supermarkets, you tend to see a lot of fake products or substandard products. So we are creating the image where we only carry original products. So from skincare to makeup to accessories, we also provide services now, beauty services, makeup services. We do tutorials, master classes. That's how far we've expanded from just a makeup line.
Why beauty? Why beauty?
I don't know. I mean, my mom said when I was 2 years old, I was already posing. So I guess I've just been into it like that. Yeah.
What are those things life has taught you that you would like to probably share with young people? Because there are lots of people looking up to you. Everybody wants to slay. They want to look like Dabota. They want to have a beautiful skin. They don't want to go through what you've gone through. They don't want to have a, but they just want to just be like you. So what has life taught you that you like to share with some of us watching you today?
Life can come at you really hard. And especially your body. Your body can turn against you. That's the scariest part.
Interesting.
Where you have all the money, you have all the success, and your body just turns against you. So you just become sick. And you just start to deal with some issue.
Yeah.
You see like big Hollywood stars having dementia, stroke, so many things. So for me, I've gotten to that stage where I'm not just about acquiring good things, but I'm really more about living a healthy and consciously good life, like building my inside. So for anybody who will say, oh, I want to just be like Dabota, yeah, you can be like Dabota and have it all, and life will just surprise you. It happened recently to a family member of mine, and it hit me so hard that this is somebody who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't party, very religious. Where did cancer come from? You know what I mean? I lost my aunt last year as well, same thing.
Wow.
So life can come at you really fast. Whilst you're trying to look or be like somebody, remember that you come from somewhere too. There's a whole lot of other things that makes you who you are, starting with your genetics, your background, your traditional beliefs. There's so many things that can hold you back. Sometimes I see people thinking, once I wear the designers and I carry the bag, I'm like you. You're not like me.
Yeah. So
Do you
Dabota, I'm
understand?
listening to you and I'm hearing a wise, calm, experienced person. And I'm wondering, is this because of what you've been through, or have you just always been this sort of person?
No,
from a
life
young
has
age?
really humbled me
So
in many
who was,
ways.
yes, so who were you before?
Beauty queen.
Yes. What was the life? What was the lifestyle?
I used to be the girl that thought I could just snap my fingers and get whatever I want. Because somehow I would say I've been blessed or lucky. I put my mind to something and it works. And then you become an adult and you start to realize that was just in school where there was 30 of you in a class. Now you're in the real world. You want something, there are 100 people that want it too.
Same thing.
And you don't know what game they're coming with. So you're hit with so many surprises, and that really humbled me. And then, I mean, I'm a Christian, and over time, maybe in the past 5 years, I've started to build a better relationship with God. So I think mentally that has really calmed me down, and my view on life is very humble.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
I remember some social media buzzwords.
Yeah.
So you're not there anymore.
Nothing used to slide.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a Christian, but don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Nima said I should tell you that I love her already. Nima, she's one of the ladies.
Ladies.
You.
Oh,
She loves you so much. All right, so I mean, I'm really happy that you came to share your story with us here today. And what I've learned so much is how you're able to maintain a relationship with somebody who you used to be married to, and you're not living with bitterness.
Yeah.
You say you've passed that emotion, that you're not emotionally invested in that anymore. So you're able to have a civilized relationship. That's really powerful, because a lot of people are having that trouble. They've left a relationship and they're having trouble understanding to put their children first, to be able to still have the conversation with their ex-spouse. And I really would like you to help us. You told us he called you. Was it from the call that you decided, or at what point? Because people need that transition, how it happened, to help them in their own relationship to also find peace, because they're so filled with bitterness because the person hurt them so bad. At least in your case, you said he wasn't such a bad person. He was a good person. But some people had really horrific experiences and they're unable to forgive. But they know that they need to forgive for the sake of their child. So I really need you to maybe slow down on that story a bit more so I help people understand how you were able to find peace in your own self.
You have to first forgive for yourself first. You have to forgive your own self, because most times when we're angry at other people, we're really angry at ourselves. So you're angry at the time you wasted. You're angry at the emotions there. It's you. You're angry at your own self more than the person. So that's why you read it everywhere and they say you have to forgive yourself first. It's such a common statement, but you have to actually forgive yourself first. When you're forgiving yourself for all the times you felt you wasted, the insults you took, the beating, the whatever abuse, once you forgive yourself for letting your own self go through that, you detach from that emotionally, and then you can forgive someone even if they don't apologize to you. Because at this point, it doesn't mean anything to you anymore. It doesn't carry that much weight in your heart. So you can let it go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, so let's take a few comments on social media because I know lots of people have probably
Network,
commented.
I don't know, do you have comments?
Network is
Oh, we're having network issues.
So let's talk about your life as we finish. What's a typical day with you like? Do you do a lot of hangouts? Do you have a lot of friends? Are you lonely most of the time? Do you like to
stay by yourself.
stay by yourself most of the time?
I have my seasons. Sometimes I'm really outgoing. I'm everywhere. Weekends, weekdays. And then there are times where I just don't feel like interacting.
Want to be by yourself?
But a typical day would be, during the school week or when school is in session, I'm awake in the morning with my daughter. That helps me to get up to go to work as well, because once you're awake after they've gone to school, it's really hard to go back to bed. Sometimes, yes, I'm tired, I do, but it gives me a push to go to work. I go to work. I have a lot of friends in my industry. Where my office is located, there's a whole strip of my friends that own businesses there too.
So you guys
We have time to hang out. I've been blessed with really good friends. The people that I call my friends today have been my friends for well over a decade. I've just been really lucky. I hear people have really bad experiences with friendships, but
in Lagos.
yes, but I've been lucky to have good friends. So it's a whole support system. Friends.
Since you're here, let's give you small free advert. So you wake up in the morning, Dabota, you have Dabota Cosmetics. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? Because lots of people like to have your skin, their glow, and they don't know what process. They'll tell you to use serum, they'll tell you to use vitamin C, they'll tell you to use
Use
all
Bogwe.
sort of everything. I'm now confused. They'll tell you to use what they call that thing, they put that white one. The toner.
The toner, the
All
mask.
sorts of things.
Yeah.
So tell us, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
So for me, I used to struggle with hormonal acne.
Okay.
So I have periods in the year where my face is so rough, really bumpy. And what I realize is to simplify your routine. So when I wake up in the morning, I would wash my face with a cleanser, something that has the ability to build skin barriers. Because whilst you're treating acne, you're really shedding off a lot of your skin barriers. Some of those products could be really aggressive to kill the pimples, like benzoyl peroxide, transamic, tretinoin, and all of those things that peel and dry up your skin. So I'm working with products that build barriers. So I wash my face. I double cleanse. I always double cleanse. So double cleanse, I use the micellar water. I avoid anything that has alcohol in it because my skin doesn't go too well with products that contain alcohol. Same thing with my makeup products. They don't contain alcohol as well. Yeah. And then micellar water, moisturize. There's some days when I take it to a whole new level where it's very long steps. So I'll steam, I'll scrub,
Dabota, there's a new one they do. They'll say spray your face when you're in the bag, you're in the car. They'll tell you every intermittently just try to spray your face with some liquid.
Right,
I was
I've
carrying it
gone
around.
Okay, like a hydrating toner.
I was telling you, Taco was going on and on about it. Can help us go and buy.
People
You know,
use that.
Ever used it?
So I want to ask this question this way. I think it's sort of the same, but I just want to ask it this way. You know how people say, I woke up like this?
Yes.
Did Dabota wake up like this? You know?
You're
So a lot
still
of people
flawless.
are like, okay, you know, they look at pictures, they look at videos, and they just want to be that person. But they don't realize, like you've explained with the product, but are there other things? Like, do you have to fix your hair? Do you have to fix lashes? Do you have to fix nails? Or you're just all natural?
No, I'm glam all the way.
Glam all the way.
I'm glam. In fact, sometimes I sleep with my wig. Even when it's not glued down.
Are you for real?
Yes.
Oh, you.
Yes.
Vain.
Especially when I go on holiday with my man. I'm wearing my hair 24/7.
Whoa.
Yes.
Not because
And I'll dress up 3 times.
Yes.
Yes. I'll do my breakfast look,
You're vain.
my daytime look, and then I'll
Kidding me?
Please, I have to learn.
I have that. When I'm packing, I pack that way.
Yes.
real?
Breakfast
Yes.
looks-
I pack my breakfast look because,
What
you
time
know,
do you
these
change for
days,
lunch?
once we come back to the room, maybe from breakfast, we're chilling and we have another activity for the day, I change again. And I just touch
Enjoy it
up
now.
my
When you
hair.
have like 5 kids, you won't have that time.
Okay. I'm taking the comments for your social media. I think YK sent it to us in the group. Mudupe Oshife said, a very fantastic guest. Dabota is. She has relevant answers to every question. Well done.
Sweet.
As a child, too much love I get for this beautiful babe. Reality speaking, life happens. Somebody says she's beautiful, not just on the outside, but on the brain. That's Ola Joko Adegbite.
Yes.
There's lots more comments here for you. People love you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
I mean, we
you.
have to wrap up. Thank you so much, Dabola Lawson, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank
And
you.
definitely, I mean, we wish you the best in your business. And regards to your beautiful daughter.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this session. It was just absolutely amazing.
Come and
Thank
visit
you.
us again.
All right, that's all we can take on today's show. It's still my birthday. I'm still receiving
Happy
gifts.
birthday.
You know, thank you very much to all who send me wishes. I really appreciate you. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.